Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV with the Rude Man, and welcome to the prelude to Stormblood. That's the next expansion, and as you know, in the last episode, we finished Heavensward. Doesn't mean that we're done with Heavensward, and because what happens is when there is an expansion and it's over, there's a period of time before the next expansion comes out. Well, during that time, they are giving you new content that leads up to that expansion. And it's quite a number of quests to do to get to that point. So I'm going to have to call this, since we're in Heavensward, we're not in Stormblood yet. We've got a ways to go before we actually start that DLC or that expansion. The only thing I can do is call this the prelude to Stormblood, because Heavensward's over. That doesn't make any sense, I know. But we'll get there. Let's go in and get started. Welcome, Master Painter. Shall I show you inside the manor? Sure, why not? Let's talk to Alphino. After long years of estrangement, Ishgard rejoins her sister nations in the alliance. Words cannot well express my joy. None of this would have been possible without you, my friend. Change is coming to Erosia, though it will inevitably bring with it a measure of upheaval. With hard work, peace and prosperity are sure to follow. And yet, even as we look forward to the coming of a new age, we must needs be wary of old threats. The lords of Garlemald have not relinquished their claim upon Erosia, and we shall be forced to contend with them again ere long. And then there's the matter of our comrade Estinian, claimed body and soul by Nidhogg. If there is a way to rescue him, we must find it. Suffice it to say, the path ahead holds no shortage of challenges, but together we shall overcome them. An uncertain future. Fortuitous timing as always, Roland. Totaro was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind, then. Absolutely. You'll be pleased to hear that Ryal and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Philomena helped me to escape the Crystal Braves in Limsa Laminsa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Razathan, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalimo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places. Riol thinks that they must have disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Well, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Minfilia? I'm afraid I've nothing new to share about those two. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of a Charlian scholar, one of the students of Baldazian, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first, we must attend to more pressing matter. Sir Aymeric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Roland, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. Maybe we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Night for now. I need a drink. She's a lush. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know. She has her own bar stool now. They yell at her like Norm. All right, so we're headed to the congregation. Which happens to be where the tavern's at, too. The Lord Commander is within. Pray, proceed, sir. I think I hit a button or something, and I rushed through that because I didn't talk to the commander. Huh. Oh, well. We'll figure out what he said. Let's talk to Lucia instead. She's the one that knows what's going on. I know a little of the lands these dragons call home. This annexed Trin. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it. Yet, even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? Ah, but ere we set forth, Roland, I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. That would be Totero. Very well, I shall see my preparations. Then let us go and bid farewell to Totero, Roland. I haven't recorded for a couple of months. I'm kind of rusty. Not that I ever was any good. I do my best. Oh, where are we going? She's in the tavern. Of course she is. Hey ho. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to annex Trin, you say? Well, I suppose that does take the precedence. But should your meeting with Vidifnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Stola in Idleshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important. And, everything. But this scholar just happens to be. Time permitting, as I said, we shall endeavor to join Stola. But if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Roland. We have kept the first commander waiting long enough. Okay, so we know what the first commander is talking about. She pretty much is going to annex Trin with us. That's that place where the dragons live. So the commander must have asked us to go talk or parlay with the dragons. That was what that meeting that I missed. He told me I could go in, and I just came right back out and didn't even see anybody. All right. Where's Lucia at? Let's see. She is... I don't know. Is she in here? I guess she is. Are you ready then? Good. So am I. Here, take some tasty food. I don't eat food like I should. Alphino is ready to escort Lucia to annex Trin. The path is long, but known to us. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the western highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dwarvian forelands. There, we can stop to rest and replenish our supplies. Any questions? If not, then the stables await. Well, we're not going anywhere new. We've already been there, so shouldn't be much of a journey. All right, how are we going to get there? Let's see. Rendezvous with Lucia outside Tailfeather. Okay, that's easy enough. We're going to go to Sky Steel. That way should be open to us by now. What I mean by that is there's a chocobo down there that you can rent to fly you to Falcon's Nest. But at some point, we can use this quicker way over here, which has been blocked for the longest time, but I think it's open now. I'm not entirely sure when this actually opens up, but at some point that gate is closed and you can't get through. That might help. Get a little wetness there. We're still trying to reach into summer here, and the pollens are kind of bad right now. When it's dark and snowing like this, all these rocks look alike. It's easy to lose your bearings. What you doing out here? I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dwarvian soil would be at the head of an army. Here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past, though it was I who first proposed recruiting Isael to our cause. I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, for a long time after that. He's talking about the past like he's 100 years old. He's only like 16. Here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands. Men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our sides she fought in service to that greater good, even unto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alphino, yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, of course. We must press on to annex Trin. If you will follow me. We always have to follow him like he's the leader. I'm just a hired help. We could take the road, but I'm going to fly. I think I can get in from the top. Well, it's not quite the top, about halfway up. Hello. Thou art ever welcome here, friend. Of your sail? But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you. I am come as an envoy of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thordan and his knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the great worm Ratasker, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the warrior of light, the Azure Dragoon, and Ysel. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labored to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, we would dare to dream that peace could be at last within our grasp. Yet dream we must, as a sail once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship and once more before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. Most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, knight. However, I cannot yet give you mine answer. May I ask why? This matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ha! Fear not, knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon, my humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith, until we meet again. Dragons live a long time. All right, so where is this little booger? There he is. Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you would need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fears for me, now. Well, if you have no further needs of our services, we will continue on to Charlian. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was, and thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your word. Yeah, I'd get old after about the 10th trip, much less 1,000. Hey ho, another time, another place. Alphino is eager to set out for Charlian. So, it would seem we have time to greet this scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Istola in Idleshire. I guess I didn't have to go all the way to the bottom. I could have flew out the top. Oh well. Whoa. I think we head out right here. You see that? This is the only problem with me recording like I do. If I record for 8 hours, that gives me 8 videos. And if I do that for two days, say a weekend, I can have 16 videos and I only put 2 out a week. So it'll be a couple months before I have to record again. And I get out of practice. I don't record like I used to record 2 or 3 videos a day. And, you know, you just get in the swing of things. But doing it the way I do, I get rusty after a while. As a matter of fact, I get to the point where I really don't want to do it. And I have to just raw and force myself to sit down, get the equipment, you know, together, and just record for a few hours. But you get rusty at it. You know, I'm no professional. Not even close. So this is the first video that I've recorded in about 2 months. So the next one should be a lot easier for me. I can get back in the swing of things and get used to reading. I'm pretty sure that, like, if you were like a professional, you'd probably read it through a couple of times so you could pronounce words correctly. But I don't. I'm just looking at it. My eyes aren't what they used to be, so sometimes what I say and what I see are two different things because I'm not seeing it correctly. Especially since I'm on a 4K computer and the writing is very small. Pretty sharp and detailed, but it's very small. Stola, you're getting wet, girl. Ah, Roland, good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Annex Trin would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vinofner go well? Well as can be expected. She must discuss Sir Emmerich's proposal with Rasvalgar, of course. But she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of our Charlian agent? Has she arrived yet? She has. But when I explained that you would be joining us, I asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on Front Bridge. We should be on our way. In this rain? We have to travel in this rain? Can't we take a nap? Yeah, a nap would be good. Hey, it stopped raining. Just because I complained. Isn't that nice? There she is. Boy, she looks smaller than she used to be. Are you shrinking?
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryle, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Alphino looks like he's about ready to cry.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, sir.
Sir, oh my God, she thinks I'm my dad.
And who is that I spy but young Alphino Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Kryle and I met at the studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
Little turd. Trying to be all diplomatic.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Kryle.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking.
All right, straighten up.
On to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Okay. That
Then
makes
what are you
sense.
waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Yeah, that's why we're here. This is where Matoya lives.
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
Okay, so who are we still missing? We're missing Papalimo and Ida. And just Thancred. That's it then, isn't it? Because we found her. We found Stola. Well, at least this time we can get over there pretty quickly because we can fly now. So we're only looking for 3 more, right? They don't like this weather. I like the sunshiny weather. Bright and cheerful, birds chirping. That actually drive you crazy after a while. Those frogs are croaking. Those things are nasty, though. I wouldn't go around licking them. You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? Well, you're not looking hard enough because there's a sign over there that says cave entrance. Oh, maybe she can't see that. In the eye of the beholder, the prospect of meeting the famous Master Matoya seems to have set Kryl thinking. I have heard many stories of Master Matoya, some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured, they are all true. This way, and have care where you tread. I mean, come on, Kryl. Look around, look around. It says cave entrance is in a very nice little path right here with railroad ties or something that take you right up to the entrance. Does she just stand there all day? Does she have a chair to sit in?
Oh, is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Nasty
Forgive us,
old.
Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Oh, you can still smell.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Kryl, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Why does she not say she's Kryl Baldessian? It's her, whatever it is, university or whatever.
Baldessian, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Kryl, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do.
Isn't it obvious?
Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
You know,
I had no idea.
Besides the Echo?
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
This old woman must be on borrowed time. She acts like, come on, I gotta know. I haven't got all day. I could die tomorrow. Yes, that's all good, she says.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the science of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Well, they probably want to do that too if you'd offer something.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance, but never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
It doesn't look very light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light.
Yeah, I got one of those.
But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
They get quite a chuckle out of that for some reason.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya.
Well, let's get to it. No time like the present.
Then let us begin.
You're feeling sleepy, sleepy. They look like they're being mesmerized, hypnotized.
From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al.
Well, isn't that convenient? Because that's kind of where we're at.
It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
You think?
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Okay. That's what I meant about Alphino. He's irritating because he thinks he knows everything, and he always wants to take charge like he's the only one that knows. And the thing that irritates me is you can't argue about that because he's usually right. It's just the fact that the way he says it, like, you know, step aside, I'm in charge, follow me, do that. Here's what we need to do. And you can't argue with it because he says just exactly what you're thinking. You know, so, but it still irritates you. I didn't realize I was at the cave entrance. I thought I was outside. And then I just started rambling. Anyway, where are we going? Oh, we're going back to Tailfeather. Oh, man. Let's take the quick route. Shall we? If I can find it. I got to get some aetherites. I've only got 24. Well, I've only got 23 now. In between this episode and last episode, though, I went out hunting, and I've got 201 allied seals and 100 centurial seals. I've got 300 seals that I can trade for aetheryte tickets. So we'll do that when we get back to Foundation. And those hunts are a weekly thing. I have to do them every week if I want to. It depends. It's kind of, monotonous, so I don't do it every week. I just tend to do them when I need them. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Oh, good thinking. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet even had Thancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. And remember, when we found her, she was buck-ass naked. So he's probably the same. So you got to wander around and find something to wear. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fear not, Kryl. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory? A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Ishtola and I will inquire at the outlying encampment, while Roland and Kryl question the residents of Tailfeather. Afterwards, we shall regroup near Loth Astvath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it. Well, I have tons of objections, but what's the point? My, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we'd best get started. Find me when you're finished making your rounds. Okay, well, this is probably a good place to take a rest. And we've been here before, so we already have that. We know what this place is like, so we'll go around and ask these people and see what we come up with. But that's a story for another day. I hope you had fun. Hope you join me in the next one. And take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and ta-ta for now.